Hello and welcome to this tutorial of integrating ChatGPT with Spring Boot. In this tutorial, I'll be guiding through the process of integrating OpenAI's powerful ChatGPT with Spring Boot. So let's get started. What we'll need as a setup is a Spring Boot tool suite, Postman for sharing the data, and we'll start with Start Spring IO, where you can create your Spring Boot application. We'll be using Java as the language, Maven as the project, and we'll be using the Spring Boot version 3.15. And here I have done an initial setup of having a group as com.demo, my artifact name as ChatGPT, and the dependencies that I've added are Spring Boot DevTools to run it, and Spring Web because we're going to create an API code in my local machine. I'll open Spring Boot Toolsuite again for you. Yeah, so here's my code. If you look my code, I have imported it as a Maven project, and I have everything ready here. I have created a class called as Jarvis. I have added a REST controller to it to make it as a REST API. I have added a get mapping and have given a URI called as chat. And I have given a request param called as user input. I'm calling a call GPT service, which is here, call GPT service, and I have added a annotation of add service. Here I'm using the URL HTTP API OpenAI conv1 chat completion, which I have taken from the OpenAI portal. If you see here, I have taken it from the OpenAI portal. I have created a URL, https api openai.com v1 chat completion, which I have taken from OpenAI portal. So if you go on the API references here, you can get the exact URL here. I have also created an API key for authentication purpose. To create an API key, you can go under the personal and click on view API keys, and you can create a new test key or a new API key for yourself. I have added that API key in my resource path. In my resource application.properties, I have added that API key. I am using model GPT-4 and I'm using REST template REST call. To use REST template REST call, I need to create a configuration class and add bean for REST template so that a single bean of that is created at runtime and not multiple beans. This is the request that ChatGPT expects. You have to create a JSON, giving the model, passing the message. Role will be user because you're asking a question. If you are trying to train it, it can be a system or assistant. Content is the user input that is coming as the input to this function. Here I am setting the headers, media type as application JSON, and authorization as bearer and the API key. It returns a response in a JSON format. So if you see here, the response is something different for this one. It's a different response. So what I have done is, from the response string that is returned here, I have got the choices. Under choices, I am taking the first index because I expect only one output. Under that, we'll have a message, and under message, I am getting get content. I'm trying to get the content here. If you want to see the whole class, it's here. I'm having a chat completion, having string as ID string object, long created string model, and a choice with the usage. Under choice, if you see, I have a message, and under message, I have content. Okay, role and content. Under choice, I have index, message, and finish reason. And I'll go back to chat completion where you can see I have choices and usage. These are the elements that are returned by ChatGPT. Okay. So in content string, I'll have the exact content that is returned by ChatGPT, which has the actual data that I'm looking for. In my Jarvis class, I'm making a call to call GPT service, providing a user input and returning the response back to the caller. Okay. Now to run this, make sure as the Jarvis and my app ChatGPT application.java, that is the Spring Boot application main class, are in different locations. Make sure to add component scan and add the base package class jarvis.class. Okay, so now we'll run a demo. I'll run it as Java application. It's a Spring Boot started within seconds. Okay, let me make a call to my local host 8080 chat. Okay, and as it's a get, I'll pass a parameter call as user input, and let's ask a question. Who is Dwayne Johnson? Let's see if it runs. Okay, we have got a response. We have got a pretty response, which is just the content instead of entire JSON response that is normally returned. I have curated it in such way to have just the text response, which can be used in a chatbot or whatever your requirement is. Okay, so we have completed the following tasks. We have done an introduction to chat completion from OpenAI. We have learned how to create auth key for OpenAI. We have used a model, GPT-4. We have integrated it with Spring Boot, and we ran a demo also. Thank you so much. We'll meet in the next video where we'll be learning ChatGPT audio models, where we'll learn how we can pass audio files to ChatGPT or say Whisper model, Whisper 1, and you can have a translation or transcription created from it. Until then, thank you.